Why go back and forth with anyone that has wronged you? Just start crying. And here's the thing, we don't live in a court of law. We live in a court of public perception. And if you see two people arguing and one person is yelling and the other person is crying, who looks like the victim? The person who's crying. Why, ladies, no matter how great your argument is, in fact, I already know that your argument supersedes whatever bullshit they're coming with. But because we are slaves to perception, just start crying. This is what I'm calling tactical tears, weaponizing our perceived weakness, tears over testosterone, hot, sad, and hysterical. I honestly think crying should be your new love language because crying is gonna get you where you need to go. Sometimes crying is going to open that door. Sometimes crying is gonna soften your blow. And I don't want to oversimplify my crybaby theory. Like, obviously in certain settings, like crying is not going to help you, but I think socially crying can definitely help you. I think interpersonal relationships, crying can definitely help you. Like, why go back and forth with your mom or your dad? Just start crying. Why go back and forth with your man? Just start crying. Why go back and forth with staff? Just start crying. Why go back and forth with customer service? Just start crying. Why go back and forth with anyone that has wronged you? Just start crying. It is not always the best strategy to be seen as the composed, calm, level-headed individual. Sometimes you need to be fragile, sometimes you need to be soft, and sometimes you need to cry.
That is what you would call emotional blackmail. She is using, I guess in these spaces, they call it dark femininity. I remember April Mason mentioned that a while back, but she's using her tears to weaponize. And she's trying to get you guys, specifically in relationship conversations, she's teaching women on how to utilize those tears to get what she wants or take the heat off her, because she understands that most men will back down when a woman starts crying, okay? And I want to give you guys the tools to be aware of this, because tears don't mean anything. If you was grew up like I grew up, I was taught that, hey, when a woman crying, just wait it out a little bit and get back to your original point, because that shouldn't stop you from taking care of what you need to take care of. So I know we have a lot of guys who are secure attachment style, and you'll see a woman start crying and you'd be like, oh man, I didn't mean to hurt her, even though you were in the right. And women understand that. Women like this video has thousands of likes, thousands of comments, women saying that this is what they're going to do. And what's sad is that when you see a black woman doing this or saying this publicly, we already know that for black men and black women, they already see us as a threat. Okay? So for her to try and use the crying tactic, it doesn't help at all, because people are going to see this and be like, oh, y'all just playing. You was taught this. This woman on social media was saying that y'all was taught to just cry even though you in the wrong. And that's what kind of upset me the most, because we don't need no more heat on our back regardless. But when you look at it in relationship terms, black men in particular need to be aware of these types of women, because you may run into them on the dating market. And I want to educate a little bit. Hopefully some of this stuff helps. Make sure you pin this one and you have this information moving forward. Weaponizing tears is a form of emotional manipulation, often called emotional blackmail or playing the victim. Okay, guys? So the first step, if a woman does this to you in a relationship, I want you to pause and don't react immediately. Stay calm and avoid rushing to comfort her, defend, or give in. Manipulative tears work because they create urgency. If you slow down, you weaken their power, okay? And like I said before, guys, first time you see those tears, even though that you're right, your first instinct is to console her. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to do this. But nothing has been settled. She hasn't taken accountability for whatever she did. She's just crying so she won't have to. And I want you guys to be strong enough to resist the urge of her not apologizing and offering you sex in return. That should not be an excuse for her not to take accountability, because I see that narrative going around on social media. It's videos out there how women apologize. You know, they just come in the room half naked, and then your dumb ass go in there, gets you a little bit, and now you think that everything is sweet. No, what she did was just manipulate you, and the next time she do something wrong, she know that she can get your ass because you're weak. That's why we doing this live stream. No, stop the conversation, slow down, and get to the bottom of it after she gets done crying. Okay? Nothing ain't solved. All right, let's continue. Next, I want you to acknowledge the emotion, not the manipulation. Show empathy without abandoning your boundaries. And a good example is, I see this is really emotional for you. Let's take a moment. This avoids coldness, but keeps the conversation grounded. As I keep saying, just said that on the first point. All right, get back to the point. We got to resolve this. Relationship will not work if you just keep letting her give you some booty or offer to cook for you and you ain't solved nothing. That's not how you solve things in relationships, okay? And again, I don't do everything right. I don't. But I do read a lot, and I'm trying to pass on some information, so hopefully some of this stuff sticks, okay? Now, refocus on the core issue. You guys see a pattern here? You see a pattern? So gently redirect back to the original discussion. Here's an example. I understand you're upset, but we still need to talk about what happened. This prevents the tears from derailing accountability. Once again, guys, okay? Next, set clear boundaries. Make it clear that you won't allow emotional displays to end the conversation. Sex is not a reason, okay? Example, crying is okay, but it can't replace us actually addressing the problem. You see what you just did there? You redirected back to the conversation. That is going to be the trend in all of this information that I'm giving you, okay? And women probably are listening and watching this. They know that this stuff will work. And if it doesn't work, then it's up to you to leave that relationship. Or if you're married, you got to go seek counseling. And you got to go talk about, hey man, this woman ain't taking accountability. She messes up. She remember all the times that I F up, but she won't take accountability. What we gonna do about this? Because if the relationship is salvageable, a good woman will take accountability. And not that BS. All right. You got it. You talking about it too much. Hell nah. That woman, she lying. Okay, if she do that, she trying to get off the subject and move on. She don't think she wrong. You got to fix that. All right. And I know I'm putting a lot on the guys, but since I talked to you guys, this is what you should do. Can't do nothing about the women. Look for patterns. One time may be genuine, but if it happens repeatedly when responsibility comes up, that's manipulation. Keep a mental note. Do tears always show up when accountability is needed? And that is the most important one. Remember I was telling you guys, a one-off is cool. If you're an older man and you're looking to date a younger woman, I told you guys that they may not know everything. And some things you may have to teach her, okay? But once you teach her, if she F's up, and if there's a continuous pattern of her doing these things, that's a problem. And you got to address that if the relationship is worth salvaging. Make sense? Young and old dudes. Want to be clear on that. Next, respond with steadiness, not guilt. Don't cave just to make the crying stop. Stand firm in your position while remaining respectful. Example, I care about your feelings, but I also need honesty and accountability from you. It's that simple. And then, here we go. Y'all won't like this one. Hold on, let me see here. Call it out if necessary. If the pattern repeats, you may need to label it. All right? Example, I feel like tears are being used to avoid this conversation. That's not fair to either of us. So if you have to, call that foolery out. And at the end here, key mindset. Tears are not the problem, but weaponized tears are. Healthy crying releases emotion. Manipulative crying redirects responsibility and accountability. Your role as a man is to differentiate the two and hold the line with empathy plus firmness. All right? So again, I'm going to clip this up because I want you guys to have this information readily available. This is important. A lot of relationships fail because men fail to hold their women accountable for certain things that they do. Because I want you guys to ask yourself a question. If you do something wrong, you think she's going to hold you accountable? If you looked at a woman's booty too long in public and you was just trying to pick up, a quarter that you saw and you looking at some girl's cheeks, she going to remember that shit for about 5 to 6 years. So you better remember this shit. All right? Accountability. We talk about this shit all the time, but we talk about it from a standpoint of women on podcasts and panels. You can't hold these women accountable. They don't know you. Plus, they don't respect you. Your woman, your wife, she should respect you. So this conversation is necessary for them, not these foolish ass women that be arguing with grown men on podcasts. Leave that shit alone. I'm trying to hold you accountable. F you. You can't hold these women accountable, brother. All right, but your girl, yes, she got to be held accountable, or she can go. All right. So let me know if this information helped you guys, and be on the lookout. This will probably be the first video that I clip up because I feel it's necessary and that important. Okay. Your Medium Man told you.